Welcome back to 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast, a show focused on highlighting the illustrious Prairie View A&M University, the HBCU of Texas, by promoting SWAC and the HBCU experience, featuring your fellow PV Panthers, Roland Austin, Jay Cleasy, Big Mike Washington, three-time SWAC champ Gati Werema, former drum major HBCU band historian Shawnetta Haskell, and Al Williams, driving the show from the Hill. Please subscribe and follow us on social media at 1876 SCP. And don't forget, we do it for the culture.
And welcome to the 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast, fresh off a double dub with over TSU yesterday. Yes, man, I tell you, something about that live, hearing the Swamp live again, bro, it just did something for me. I feel energized.
Made you feel good.
Hey, but I do have to say, now Roland got me on something now. You know, I realized something yesterday and I just have to own up to it. I am no longer a general admission Negro.
Oh,
Bruh, something about them floor seats.
it's different, huh?
Every 5 minutes, do you need a water? You want some popcorn? Then the men's game, they brought us lunch. I was like, hold on, man. I remember having to get up and go wait in that long line. Hey, I just got to own it.
That was Joe that said, well, we don't do lines anymore.
Lines? Yeah.
What is that?
That's for Neanderthals.
I'm on the other side.
Progressed since then.
It's levels to this, right?
Oh,
it's levels.
No.
Okay, so for
all of them that did it, they did a good job. It was really nice to see the floor seats full. And I hope that drives a lot more demand for those seats. And we can actually get some, help PV get some value out of what they're delivering for you, So
yes.
Kudos to everybody that helped pull that out. That was really good. It was a good show of that yesterday.
All right, so before we get into it, to all of our faithful listeners, Shawnetta is out on assignment. Gati is out on assignment. You know, she's a color analyst for the SIAC, so she's out on assignment. But we got standing in our brother, PV's own Mr. Victor Langford is standing in. What's up, bro?
Hey, I'm good. I'm a faithful listener. So Jay Cleasy, I told him one time, I said, hey, I'm like a sixth man. If you ever need me, just tag me, put me in the game. So, coach, I'm here.
There it is. There it is.
I called him this morning. I say, now's your time.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I said, hey, Roland, I said, showtime.
There we go. All right. So, first topic coming out the gate. So, last week we talked about the University of Texas system. This week we have to talk about our own Texas A&M system. Orders all system schools to remove diversity statements from hiring policies. Very interesting. So here we go. Here we go.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah. And be very clear, man. It is one thing to say that, hey, we want to create a system that is going to be equal and have proper equity for everybody, and I'm all for that. But this is nothing more than just finding a way that we can continue to defund our institutions.
Yep.
I can't see this any clearer than just we're trying to take more money from us.
Well, I talked to Dr. Cavill about it yesterday morning before the game, and his education on it was that they removed language. However, folks who are serious about hiring D&I, he said they still have the freedom to hire who they want to hire from a hiring perspective.
Yeah.
But now, when in regards to enrollment, that's the big piece. Texas A&M,
There's
UT
the big piece.
are only 3 to 5% black. So
why was it so important again? Hey man,
exactly.
it's right in front of you. like, I dropped a couple of pennies out my pocket. Yeah, you know what? I need to write a whole policy to go get them other pennies up.
That's right. That's right. Now, I was reading an article earlier this week about, because a lot of schools are making SAT, ACT optional now. I was reading an article about why UT implemented the use of tests like the SAT, ACT back in the 60s. After the Civil Rights Act of 64 passed, they had to find a way to limit the number of Negroes that were admitted to the university. So they did some research and some sampling, and they found that if they use these standardized tests, they could eliminate about 90% of the black applicants. So historically, that's why they've always been around that same level of 3% and never more. And if you take away the athletes, my guess is you're probably more like 1.5%.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So,
and the athletes are in a bubble. The athletes are kept in a bubble. They are not in gym pop.
No,
So
that's right.
you can walk on UT campus and you can go a whole day and not see a black student.
Man, you walk around that campus and it's like, you giving that brotherhood nod.
When you
Every
see
time you
somebody.
see one, it's like dot dot diddy dot
Big
dot
one.
dash.
It ain't just a small shit. It's like,
Right. Right.
And I think the biggest thing, because again, my pastor preached talked about this today while I was up in church. Get my soul and mind right.
That was before. Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that alone. I gotta mess with my LV.
Focus.
Boy, got to go to work tomorrow. You better.
So one of the things that Pastor talked about too, which again is just kind of all in line with everything, is that if you think about, even look at the state of Texas, and of course our Governor Greg Abbott with all of these, D&I hiring practices, trying to get rid of all that. One of the things that we have to understand is Texas currently is 60% brown. So we are past that. It's predominantly white and all that kind of stuff. So really, kind of what he said too, that you're trying to do something now where that train left the station a long time ago. So all this trying to get rid of that. Think about who the majority of the population that is currently in Texas now anyway. So I know it's got a lot to do with control and making sure we don't lose some of this. And I'll even go into what Chris Rock said on his comedy thing last night. Who you losing control to? Last time I checked, 80% of the wealth was still white America. We ain't nowhere close.
But the one thing I will say about them folks and the Republican Party, they are proactive. They ain't waiting for the problem to arise. They see it from a long distance and they cut the head off the snake way before it ever becomes an issue. And that
they're crushing eggs.
Yes, bro. And that is the one I guess just tactic that I wish our community would take, because people say, well, why are you worried about the demographics of PV? We still 80% African American population on campus. Yeah, but 10, 15 years ago we was 90%.
Listen, my parents went to West Virginia State. West Virginia State is one of those historically black colleges and institutions, but you have to realize when it was created, it was illegal for a white person to enroll at West Virginia State College. If you go to that campus today, it is majority white. It is still a historically black college or university because of the way it was founded. But it is not like that today. No. History only.
Yeah, and then another thing that I looked at an article that came from the Chancellor Sharp that we'll be meeting with her pretty soon. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But one of his direct quotes is that he states that no university or agency in the A&M system will admit any student nor hire any employee based on any other factor other than merit. Okay.
That is subjective as hell.
Okay, so that means the legacy points go away? If you legacy at UT, you don't get no points for being legacy, right? Because that's
direct,
other than
that was a
merit.
direct quote.
Okay.
Look, as
Be
direct
careful.
or indirect as you want to place it, we can place
Be
emphasis
careful.
on, or we can take emphasis off. Let's just leave it
Right.
just like that. So,
We got the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
yeah.
But you know, to me, again, D&I, it goes both ways, man. It goes both ways.
So
When
be
we were on
careful.
when we were on campus, by far, majority of the professors were African American. They had they were invested in us.
Yeah.
I talked to kids, recent graduates or current students, and particularly in the college engineering, and it's a bunch of professors in there who ain't even from the country, and they don't necessarily have a vested interest in our community, in those kids. So, you know, I could tell it's a couple of professors. If it weren't for them dudes helping me, I would have never graduated because they just flat out cut for your boy and helped me. The professor
Shout
on
out to
campus,
Dr. Morgan.
man.
But, man, because it was some of them semesters when I got that letter from the registrar.
Hey, bro.
Like, Dr. Morgan, can you let me tutor? Let me
Man.
do something. So come in my office, son.
Hey,
Dr.
even
Frazier, shout out to
Dr.
Dr.
Frazier.
Frazier. Rest in peace.
Dr. Harvey, even Dr. Bonnie crazy ass helped your boy out a couple of times.
Man, I'm sorry. I tried to flip his car over.
Yeah,
After
you
thermo
know,
the second
it
time.
is what it is. But no, you know, long story short, they were there to help. I don't know if that
Yes.
that attitude is necessarily in the engineering building.
No,
anymore.
there's no shared interest, there's no shared investment, no shared experiences. Those things matter, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't think that if you can't look at a student and see not just yourself, if you can't see your nephew, your niece, your daughter, your wife, you know what I'm saying? If you can't look at a student or anyone that you interact, think about even your employers, right? You're going to be drawn to what you can relate to and you make it relatable to, right? So it's going to be an issue, you know, but I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this ends. And if we don't get out in front of it quick.
So speaking of getting out in front, let's talk about the Zoom call earlier this week with President of the National Alumni Association, Mark Falls. Vic, were you on there?
Yeah, so that was this past Thursday. The again, president put together a Zoom call, invited everybody, you know, all alumni, even the student body, and so there was quite a few that joined. And Pastor Mark Falls, he did lay out his plan, and he went through kind of what the what the meet when he'll have the meeting with the chancellor, who will be there. Again, some of the things that we want or he wants to get from the meeting. And one of the things that Mark Falls kept saying on that call time and time again, that it was more about building relationships and that they understand. He was saying as far as the Texas A&M University System understands that they have not, done right by Prairie View. So he kept saying, hey, they know what time it is. But, he said he definitely wants to build that relationship and, kind of go from there. This won't be just a meeting and that's it. He looks at it being the first of many. And I'll kind of stop and let whoever else was on there kind of add to from what you got from it as well.
I was on there and I heard a lot of repetitive language, specifically more around Dr. Simmons said, hey, dude, you don't need to use my name in there. I'm good. Don't go in there with you throwing my name.
Hey, what you say? Carry on.
I don't need your help.
As you were.
I mean, that was very clear. Of anything that was said of that was very clear. And I think probably as eloquent as she could have placed it, what that really meant. I don't know if we're really clear on what it is we want. And I definitely don't think we understand what it takes to get what we want. So I heard stuff like, and I know they're still piecing together the plan. And yes, we do need legal representation before you start going down this path. But, throwing out things like, are we separating from the system? Yeah, go ahead. Take a bite out of that elephant, right?
Good
First
luck
thing
with
you're
that.
going to get, they're going to want every dime of the money that you have put into that system back. Yeah, go ahead. You want to leave? Here you go, right here. This is what it's going to take to leave. I mean, if we can't raise $100,000 in a weekend,
We can't.
Well,
you know what? I'm not saying we cannot. I'm not going to say we cannot.
I'm gonna say we cannot.
We have not historically done so in the run of a weekend.
Here's what I will say.
Go ahead.
We are written into the Texas Constitution. It would take a constitutional amendment, and that means you need 3/4 of the same folks who just told you to get rid of DE&I. You need them to grant you something that you want. Yeah, good luck with that one.
That statement was made as a we shall see. We will weigh the pros and cons of it. He didn't say that was necessarily the direction that we
I know that wasn't I'm just saying those were some of the
that was a conversation
potentials that was thrown out. And so that's why I say I still don't think we're quite clear in terms of what it is, what success looks like, right? What is that real ask? Well, I mean, we know that we've been done wrong, but hey, man, they were doing us wrong and knew they was doing us wrong when they was hanging us from trees. What did that stop? I mean,
I took it a different way. This is my thing.
Yeah.
You got the leadership, right? At your job. I know, Roland, you don't work for nobody, but us regular folk who have a leadership team, we don't know necessarily what the plan is. Al, you at upper level leadership. We don't know what the plan is. We just know to follow suit. We as the foot soldiers don't need to know what the plan is. We just know to be unified and follow their lead. And what made me feel better about it, and y'all know I ain't no step and fetch Negro. I'm normally the one that be like blow all this shit up. But what made me feel better about it is that Maya Rockamore Cummings is on that team. She is a part of that leadership team. And if you follow her on social media, she about her business. She's not with the we just gonna get along and we gonna follow the Democratic Party or whoever it may be just to. No, she's about that business. So that made me feel a lot better knowing that she's a part of that leadership team who have developed that plan. So my thing is, there is no need to disperse the plan to the masses. We don't need to know exactly what the plan is, bro.
I got a call. So you're right. I don't report to anyone per se, on the theory.
Look back before you say that.
I don't want to say that loud, but still, dude, I did 17 and a half years at GE, right? And you had leadership meetings, right? And in those leadership meetings, the strategy of whoever it was steering that ship at the time, the strategy and the direction that they were trying to take that company was filtered down, not just down to the executive level, but then his executive staff was also got that plan. And it was my job to take that plan and translate it into some action that these people who are working under me to do to support it. So if we're talking about we're going to grow our revenues by 2x, okay, yeah, that's way outside of my budget. But I got to figure out what I got to do to support my plan and what my team has to do in order to support that overall high-level strategy. That's my point. We are so disconnected from what the high-level strategy is. You just say, yeah, we just don't close that. Cat Williams has a very explicative way of putting it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but he said we're going to do it. No, man, we are not that level type of Negro anymore. Okay, you're going to have to articulate to me what it is we're fighting for, what direction you want me to go in, and who do you want me to strategically put in place so that I don't just have some dummy out here who don't know what they're doing, walking down the street and just say, well, they told me to walk this way. Dude, you're not even the right person to have in that slot.
Roland, you saying we need to ready, aim, shoot, not shoot. Shoot, ready, aim.
Or better yet, shoot. Oh, shoot, I ain't even got no bullets. Just come on, man.
You know what? And I can see both perspectives. I can see, definitely, I understand the passion, hear what you're saying. And Joe, I understand too that, we need to, at the end of the day, because even on that call, Al, in the chat, it was all kind of stuff, talking about, hey, we've tried this before. Hey, we don't need to be meeting with them. So you know how we are as a people, we will just, before we even take a swing, we already count ourselves out. So
basically there is no we.
Yeah, but my thing, like Joe said, we've got to unify. Either we gonna take a swing but we need to go together as one, because if we continue to be, everybody's got their own, sheet of music they're playing from, then we're not going to get anywhere.
I completely agree, but you can't have the piccolo player playing saxophone. That's my point.
Who called my piccolo player? You're going to take me back to Robin Harris. Hold on.
The piccolo player is.
Yeah. Who called that mofo a piccolo player? No, but to Roland's point, to me, Leadership 101, if you are leading, especially a large organization, you need to have articulatable goals. And you can't have 11 of them. You should have no more than 5. What is the ask? You need ideally 3, because everybody should be able to repeat them en masse. So, Joe, you talk about how the Republican Party does. That's one of their tactics. They always dumb it down to 3 simple things, and they repeat it over and over and over. CRT. Exactly. And before long, everybody's on the same page, and that's the answer to every question, regardless of what was asked. Right? Yeah. We need those same strategies and talking points, because otherwise, if you put the microphone in front of this person, you don't get one answer. You put the microphone in front of this person. So then whoever you talking to or whoever you need to get something from, i.e. the Board of Regents, they're going to say, well, I don't know what they want. We met with them, but it's kind of all over the place right now. So we just going to wait until they can tell us what they want. Dumb it down to 3 simple asks. And once you can do that, everybody, you can get people on board. We can all stay on message, and we don't get caught up with all the noise about what we have tried before.
Look, man, I'm just trying to be a good Negro Christian. And have
you know what, Joe?
And have faith that our leadership is getting it done.
Christian, that Bible says, write the vision down and make it plain. Okay? So let's get the vision. First, you have to have a vision. I'm sorry, I didn't mean... But if you're going to be a good one, hey, man, it's a whole lot of stuff in that book that allow you to be a good one. So let's write the vision down, make it plain, and then let's everybody march toward that sheet of music, as you said, Kid. So
there it is. All right, so in other news this week, they announced the commencement speaker, and it will be none other than President Emerita, let me get that right, President Emerita, Dr. Ruth J. Simmons. Now, I found out also this week, because I told Jake, you got to give me some tickets, bro, because, your aunties, uncles, everybody coming. And they said there are no tickets. So we might see Panther Stadium packed for graduation. No tickets required.
Standing room, baby.
First time you're going to see a full stadium.
We know.
It's going to be at commencement 2023.
Damn. You sure is right.
Dr. Gardner, you think we can get our suite for the game?
Hey, I was already there, Roland. I'm already there with you. I'm like, I told y'all, I'm not general admission no more. I need to get the suite for graduation, because my daddy got 2 knees in a hip. Tammy daddy got a knee in a hip. So ain't nobody walking them steps. We need the elevator.
I'm sure I know somebody's graduating. All these young
we got a few of them 50-year-old prostates, so you ain't gonna be waiting in line at the bathroom either.
I got to pee right now.
Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. What's the date of this commencement?
Man, I'm gonna hold that silent, because it's Mother's Day. It's the day before Mother's Day, the Saturday before Mother's Day. I think it's May 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's gonna be on jam. She ain't got nothing to hold back.
I'm wondering. That's what's worth it. Because it's gonna be raw and unfiltered.
We gonna need our interns on the field.
Hey, watch how hot it's gonna be. It's probably about 103 that day.
It's gonna be 110.
Well, that's the question. I hope they have like a big ass umbrella over President Simmons. She can't be out there at 95 degrees.
No, bro. They're gonna have them fans that the football team have. With the little misty
covered. But I'm sitting here wondering how many of those students gonna be over there. You know how after the All-Star game, the kids be over there with their pens. How many of them students gonna be over there? Hey, come on, sign this.
Can you sign my degree real quick?
Get your degree right? Do you get your degree right then? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I did because I opened mine before I got off the stage to make sure I didn't have a note from the registrar or something.
Mine got mailed to me. I don't think they get it till a while later.
You know what?
Me and Dr. Cavill, he was right behind me. I got mine. I saw my name. He got his. We stepped off the stage and down the aisle. We stepped all the way down. So we were probably the last one.
Before he stepped.
Yeah. That's what. Once I confirmed it was in my hand, they wasn't gonna get it back. So at that point, we let loose.
When I graduated in fall of '94, they weren't doing December graduation, so I was in the workforce for 6 months. So
me too.
Me too. Okay,
me too.
We was all December grad.
Yeah. I was December '93, but I walked in May '94, and you best believe I came down for that.
Oh, absolutely.
We tore that house up. 2702 Cherry Street was never the same. We had a crawfish boil, and some of them crawfish got away. It was never the same.
You talk about, hey, we could take a conversation off the rails.
You are
disturbing
the landlord in me right now.
Oh, man. Let's take a quick break and talk some football. Some basketball real quick. We're going to talk some basketball.
Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that.
All right, so game yesterday, off the chain, great atmosphere. It was a sellout, but all the seats weren't full. You know how that goes. And these days of scalpers or whatever, folks just not showing up. But the atmosphere was electric.
Yeah.
Pantherettes, bro.
Got it in. With some new outfits.
They brought all the energy.
Hey, man,
I think that was the loudest the crowd got.
Yes, that boy, Al is a chubby chaser, boy. The game was off the chain. No, it was a great atmosphere. That TSU PV game, it don't matter what the records are. It don't matter what's on the line. But in a baby dome, if TSU show up, the crowd, the madness, the fans, they gonna show up. They gonna.
Oh yes.
So we got the dubs.
Vice versa, but you know.
Hey, we got the dub with 78-74, which is nice going into the tournament on that winning streak. But when we look at the box score, you know, William Douglas, that was my first time seeing him live. That boy got game.
He do.
And
he
heart.
got
He plays
game.
with a lot of passion, man.
Woo.
Him and Yazuza.
Yeah.
Rasa.
So William Douglas put up 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists in 39 minutes. You look at Raza had kind of an off game for him. 11 points and 4 rebounds. That's an off game for him. He was a little off yesterday, but hopefully we'll see him kick it in gear as they go to Birmingham this week. But looking at Takorian Smith, he also got off. 19 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists.
That was his biggest game of the season.
Yes. And Braden Bell also got off with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. So the guys are getting it in, man. So it was enjoyable. They go into the tournament as we are 6 seed, right?
6 seed.
Yeah.
6 seed. First game is against Jackson State.
Yep.
And we split the regular season games with Jackson State. So looking forward to what's going to happen. It's an all new season by the time you get into the tournament. So it ought to be exciting.
I'm here to tell you, Mr. Douglas, he trying to make a league somewhere. You know, he's already set to play an HBCU All-Star game. I'm looking for him to come out and trying to drop 30 on them boys against Jackson State. He's going to really put it on. He's been gearing up these last few games, man. You really see him finding his offense. That boy trying to get paid professionally to do this thing, and he knows.
Hey, man, he got it in yesterday. That was my first time seeing him live. I was impressed. So, all right, that's enough with the men. I don't want to talk about the ladies because we got a special guest coming up next. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, and joining us today, none other than Coach Sandy Pugh, women's basketball head coach. Coach Pugh, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Look, this is the best time of the year, March Madness. What could be better than March Madness? Let's go.
Oh, my gosh. I was so excited that dome. Woo! We still feeling yesterday. So, Coach, this is a great season for you guys. You've built this team from the ground up. So did the players meet your expectations this season that you set, at the beginning of the year?
Partially. I mean, we're really banged up. I mean, we have Desiree Lewis is a kid that has really been there for us. She's the toughest kid on the team. She rebounds. She led us in assists. She's a team leader. And she's not a full go. She's probably about 40%. She's hobbling. I mean, it hurts my heart to see her because I know what a competitor she is. But yeah, we really banged up. I mean, the kids are giving me what they got. But I'm gonna tell you, it's just blessings to be here, sitting here, finishing 4-way tie for second. I mean, it's just a blessing all the way around. I mean, the kids have been fighting, scratching, clawing, giving me everything they got as we go down this back stretch. But, I'm really proud of their overall effort. I'm so proud of Diana. I mean, that baby has just been through so much. Tamirica Taylor, most people don't know her story, but Tamirica was with the team last year and had to leave the team to go get a job because she lost her mother, her grandmother, and her dad within a 12-month period.
Oh my God.
So when you talk about perseverance, toughness, that's these kids, man. They give me what they got day in and day out, and I can't be prouder as a coach.
Coach, that explains why she broke down at senior day.
Yeah.
That
She was adamant. We were gonna have one of the coaches stand there and walk with her, and she didn't want nobody. But when she turned around, I was there. Yeah. And when she got to in front of everybody, it was just overwhelming. She would say, "Coach, I can't." She was literally hiding down behind the her jersey.
Her picture frame.
Yeah. And I was talking in her ear. And what I was telling her was, "Your grandma watching. She would tell you to stand up strong, put them shoulders back, and be proud of your accomplishment." So she did it.
About to make me cry over here.
I know. I'm like, hold on. I'm gonna need to take a break.
A lot of politics.
Yeah.
It's
so the team came when you saw the team come running out to support her. That was what that was about. Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. It's really great to see the team rally around her like that and to come together like that. Not even broadcasting or facility, like pushing out what had happened. It's great that you guys knew internally and still were able to be that level of support for it. That's awesome.
Always. This team is built on love. I mean, this team is all about nurturing and providing support for the next guy. And I got a great group. I mean, what can I say? I got a great group of young ladies. They're not just beautiful. They're also intelligent and they're also kind and nurturing. So I've been blessed.
So, Coach, what do you have in play for next year? I know we're going to lose a couple of seniors. I know we're going to miss out on the 2 Kennedys and a couple of the key players.
Actually, I have it. KP's trying to get into dental school.
Oh, really?
She says, "Coach, if I get in dental school, I'm leaving. But if I don't, I'm back. I got to win this chip." So she'll be back.
Okay, all right.
She is already.
Hey, run it back.
We're gonna run it back. Hey, that whole slogan, "Bring it back," is about bringing that trophy home.
There you go.
Bring it home.
Back here on the bluff. Kennedy will be back. Kennedy Hurd will be back. The one that we're trying to coach back is Diana. Diana didn't get. We don't have cost of attendance.
Okay.
And so that's a big issue for myself and Coach Byron when we're out here recruiting and trying to get quality kids to come in here and play. That's a big one. That's a big roadblock. But and Diana, her financial circumstances are not what it should be. And she's saying to me, she said, "Coach, if I graduate in December, I want to see if I can just go overseas." And I'm sitting there like, what I wouldn't give to have that kid for another year. I mean, come on. I mean, she's next level. So, I mean, it's going to be a financial decision for her, unfortunately. So, but, it's going to come down to that. But everyone else, is returning. Tamirica, we'd have to get a waiver for her to come back. But she's telling me, she's like, "Coach, I'm so old. I don't know if I want." I don't know.
Her knees bad.
I was like, girl, if I can get that way, like she's like, I don't know, coach, but I mean, we're gonna see, and see if we can maneuver that. I mean, I'd love to have this team back as it is with some additions. We just got a confirmation from, I can't say names or anything, from a Power 5 kid yesterday that she's going to be joining the ranks. We got to get some bigs who can rebound and outlet. We a fast break team. We want to get out. We want to shoot the three. We want to play fast. We want to pressure up more. I just think we just have to have healthier bodies to do that. And so, I'm excited about the future. I think this team could, we're the only team to beat Jackson State this year. And, we went over there and played them without my starting point, Ryan Thornton, my Power 5 kids at Penn State. She couldn't go. And then my other kid, Desiree Lewis, who, she's the warrior down there. She was the one down there banging and all over the place and diming it and when we played them here. That's why we were able to have the success we had. And I didn't have the services of both of those kids. And so, I'm hopeful that we can, go into this tournament and handle Southern and see them again.
You pulled out a little rock star there with Jada. We was kind of shocked when we saw her play in the dome there. We were like,
a couple games ago. It was like, who this? Where'd she come from?
Jada's dad is a coach. He coaches, and she's a special kid. I mean, she talk about a 4.4 student out of high school. I mean, you talk about this kid is legit, and so it's a learning curve. It's a growth period. What you did in high school doesn't come that easy at this level. This is D1. Everybody's pushing, shoving, banging, and you got to learn the when, the where, what coach needs, what team needs. So she's been progressing slowly. But you don't want to rush her. You don't want to rush that. You want to let them progress and find their way and learn. And as you're teaching and giving instructions, she absorbs very fast. I mean, you give it to her one time, she's got it. And she's gone from the first time I watched that baby practice. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if she's tough enough. And my assistant, Coach Evans, was like, I'll coach you time. Sure enough, I kept telling her, just wait, your turn is coming. Your number's going to be called. When that bell rings, make sure you answer it. And she did. So, and I've been playing her ever since.
Hey, Coach Pugh, this is Victor. I just wanted to, first of all, give you your props. I Googled you, and I know that you are a Hall of Famer. So I know at Northwestern State they induct you to the Sports Hall of Fame in 2010?
What was that? It's been a minute. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So it's always good to be on with a Hall of Famer. So I don't think any of our others are Hall of Famers. So that's some rare air right there. Also, I wanted to ask you about. So I know you guys are going to play Southern the first game, and again, I know you spent 18 seasons at Southern. So when we beat Southern, is that going to make? Do you still kind of take those games a little bit? What is it when you go up against Southern? Since you spent so much time there.
Coach Francis is like my brother. Matter of fact, I talk to him almost every day, and I talked to him this morning. His parents. Let me tell you something. I can make a phone call and his mama in the kitchen cooking pork chops. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he's family. I love him. He's like my brother, and anytime we go at it, we're competitors. I mean, we compete. Whether we playing dominoes or we coaching against each other, somebody gonna get whooped.
Okay. Say big 6'3" to the board, baby.
There you go. You know what I mean? When you put the spots on the dominoes and you coaching the team, it's the same energy. When it's over, we hug, congratulate each other, wish each other the best always, and then keep that moving. Yeah, it's a special bond.
Got it.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Ro.
Hey, Coach, one thing I wanted to touch back on, you mentioned about cost of attendance being a huge issue, and we've heard this as a resounding theme across a lot of the coaching staff.
Right.
What does that number look like for you in trying to not just attract talent, but maintain talent?
Well, I'm gonna give you an example. So, like, we were looking at a Power 5 kid, and she was telling us that the SEC was giving, the school she was at was giving $1,100 per month, every month, on top of Pell Grant. You know, you got these kids paying their mom's rent, they're buying getting cars, and, they're doing what their needs are because everything's so expensive now. You know, I literally had a kid that was working. I had 2 kids last year working full-time jobs while they were playing and trying to compete. Full-time jobs, and one kid was like, Coach, I gotta work. I gotta have money because I have to have money to send home. So it takes away from us. And I think Coach Prime brought this up in one of his podcasts about, kids come in, they go to class, they do practice, and then they got to go to work. Because, a lot of times some of our kids that I'm speaking of, kids that look like you and I, we don't always have the resources. I was from a single parent home, and, my mom didn't have it. So I would just not ever ask for it because I knew we didn't have it. So, in this day and age, when we have availability to put together NIL marketplaces like Alabama just did, they had passed some law or something to make it happen. But all these Power 5s have these NIL marketplaces where the kid can go in there and put their bio, what their interest levels are, things that they support, causes, etc. And then you can say, hey, any average person can say, I want a picture with you. You can take a picture with them and give them $10. You can have more for a family reunion. That's $500. Whatever their price point is, it's on that marketplace. So there's multiple layers to this whole NIL thing. And then they're getting that in conjunction with cost of attendance. So, like, I'm going to say like a Northwestern State. I think the last time I talked to Greg when he was AD down there, they were getting like $150 a month. So I think a price point for Prairie View, a good price point would be about $500, I'd say between $250 and $500 because of where we're located. See, people don't take into consideration that when you bring in these kids, they got to fly home. So, and they don't always have cars. How do they get back and forth to the airport? Well, airport to Prairie View is probably anywhere from $75 to $100 via Uber. So these are additional costs that, and then also their athletes. Okay, cafeteria closed at what, 6:30? I mean, anybody that ever played, you starving at 10 o'clock, at night. I mean, they have to have money to get snacks. I can't even imagine being a lineman, with a number of calories they have to intake with no cost of attendance or no money or no rehook. So they're just hungry. And then we're expecting them to compete at a high level. I just think we just have to look at that from a different lens. That's all.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't put it in that perspective, but when you put it like that, I hadn't considered some of those expenses. And like you said, Houston is a high price city now. This is not 1980 anymore.
I don't eat out anymore.
Exactly.
Especially, but most of my kids is like when they come into the city, they'll come to Cypress or or they might go to Jessica's house or something like that in that neighborhood. I had a kid that lived in the Heights, but that's kind of far for them. They don't traditionally go over to the wards, but coming to Cypress is expensive. So it's just something that and I know Doc Gardner has had numerous conversations with us about it, and visiting on how to get there. What would that look like, and that is a conversation right now. I just think from an alumni standpoint, it needs to be expedited because it's here, it's this time, and if we're going to be consistently competing with the Jackson State has all these transfers in. That's how she was able to build that team so quickly. The kids that she could get in with a limited, GPA, we couldn't get it. We at that time we had 2.9. That 2.9 was like woo. So
hell, 3.0, coach. 3.0.
Now 3.2 for high school, 2.9 for transfers. I mean, I mean, that was like, but hey, you know what? Whatever we're asked to do, that's what we're gonna do. You know, Prairie View's an amazing place. It's an amazing school, and you know that's everybody who visits Prairie View just rants and raves about how amazing the place is, and the people are incredible, and you know, and you know, I tell them all the time. I said, "Don't you know you look good, Herb?" You know, and they just, yeah, coach, you know,
You
I
look
really
royal.
purple, yeah, that purple.
Love it.
Uh-huh.
Love it.
We trying to
All
put
right.
some purple in some people's lives.
There you go.
Thing.
There
Hey.
you go.
I talk to folks like Prince, all of my purple life. All right, Coach, well, we sure appreciate you taking out the time and talk with us. Good luck this week against Southern. Let's get it done. Let's bring it on home. Let's bring it on home.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Coach.
All right, take care, Coach. We'll be right back.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We got joining us now, track and field coach, Mr. Chris Clay. Coach Clay, what's going on?
How you doing? I'm doing well.
All right. So, Coach, we're getting ready for outdoor. You just wrapped up indoor season, and you know we saw the ladies made some noise in the indoor tournament. The guys, it looked like y'all might be a little banged up. What's going on with the fellas?
Well, we're just trying to fight through a couple of injuries and whatnot. The guys, they are really coming along. We have a young core, first time running indoors. So outdoors is going to be a different story.
Yeah, running those curves in the indoors, that's a whole different beast. So yeah, I can see that. So talk about your strategy going into the outdoor. We see you got a couple of points out of your jumpers. Where are your sprinters? Did all your sprinters graduate, or you got some dogs in the cut right now?
We had a couple of guys to graduate, but the sprinters, they're pretty much young. They're really going to really step up during our indoor season. They've really been doing a great job and getting in the weight room, working on just the strength that they need and the explosion, the power. Them guys, they were really coming along. In Alabama, we had a weather change for the schedule, so we had to run everything in one day, and they just didn't adjust well to the schedule. Normally we have a prelims and the finals, but this time, due to the fear of bad weather, they shut the city down the day before, and we were just kind of forced to squeeze everything in one day.
So you had to run twice in one day instead of run once one day, recover, and come back.
But
Okay.
yeah, they pretty much made everything a final. So if you're running multiple events, you have to run everything in one day, and they just didn't make that proper adjustment to be able to run fast at one time. You know, normally we get geared up for prelims, then after the prelim, the next day you prepare yourself for the finals. So it was just a small adjustment that we needed to make, and we just didn't make the proper adjustment to the schedule.
All right, Joe, I'm going to you.
Yeah, hi, Coach Clay. We share the same last name. I don't know if we like second or third cousins, one's removed or something. But every year around recruiting season, I'm sure you know, we have a ton of PV alum who are involved with the AAU level track programs all across the city of Houston, and they're always asking. The question is, what does Coach Clay look for when he's recruiting? What is your recruiting strategy? What is your profile for your sprinters, your track athletes? So I guess kind of get it out there to PV alum. What are you looking for when you're recruiting a track athlete?
Well, we look for pretty much all events. Distance runners, short sprinters, long sprinters, long jump, triple jump, pole vaulters. We're definitely across the board in all our events we're looking for. We have a set standard that we have out. If they go on our website, they can fill out a questionnaire. It comes straight to my email or my assistant email, and we kind of review them from there. But just there's not a specific event per se, because we're always recruiting for all events. Like I say, long jump, triple jump, throwers, javelin throwers, shot put, discus. We're all over the place when we are, trying to recruit for the program, because we don't want to be dominant in the sprint side or the track side. And on the field side, we're not able to compete. So we want to compete overall as a track and field program.
So it's about making that standard.
Right. And really the standard is kind of set to let us know, yes, you're ready to compete in our conference.
We need some points, basically.
Right.
You got to score some points around here. Ain't no.
Right.
So,
we get a lot of emails about student athletes. Like, I'm gonna use an example. Somebody might be running 100 meters. They might run like 11.2, 11.1, which is
NAIA.
That ain't gonna get it.
We're not saying that they can't develop. We allow them the opportunity to walk on our program. But if you're not running that 10.6 or 10.7, you really don't have a chance to be competitive. But, we give everybody opportunity. We don't really turn athletes down. They want to come in that first year, work their butt off. We introduce them to the weight room and how we work on explosion and things of that nature. And I tell them all the time, you can walk on your first year, do an amazing job, and get a scholarship going into your sophomore year.
Yeah. So Coach, go ahead, Roland. I'm sorry.
I was probably about to ask the same thing. So what is their best method for capturing your assistant's attention? Is that just sending you their stats, or do you need to look at anything like their technique or know anything about their background scholastically, or anything like, what's the best way for them to get your attention when they're, because I know you're getting a ton of emails, right? So
right. It's like I said, we respond to our emails. Mm-hmm. We some send videos, whatnot. We check out the videos, and we go out during the district meets, the regional meets, to really show our face and to see their performance firsthand.
Okay.
But like I say, if we can get out to you, just send us a video, and from that we'll make the connection.
Okay.
So, Coach, we just talked to Coach Pugh, and she was talking about having that cost of attendance. So we know we watched how North Carolina A&T was able to build that track program, and a lot of their students were not from North Carolina. So when we talk about cost of attendance at PV, it seems like you guys are fully funded for in-state. What would it look like to be fully funded for out-of-state, international, plus cost of attendance? Do you have kind of a idea how big that budget gap is?
Well, let me say this. A lot of people, they don't realize track and field is not fully funded at Prairie View. It's not. It is not fully funded at Prairie View. So we don't have for as men, we don't have our actual lot of 12.6 scholarships. So the allotment we have, we use that to kind of break it up to get guys in. So, and for us out of state, we only allow, my program, we're only allowed 3, maybe 4 out of state waivers. Wow. So anything outside 3 or 4, then it's hard for us to recruit outside the state of Texas.
Wow. That's recruiting with handcuffs on right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of athletes, it's not like football and basketball, which is fully funded at Prairie View, but the smaller sports, we're not fully funded. We're working to get there, but as of right now, we are definitely not fully funded.
Sounds like we need football. We need that football TV deal because ain't enough hat passing for that.
Cones or something.
Right.
Fish plates. Can we get some fish plates?
Well, but so that's where we're trying. There are entities that are trying to get past that fish plate syndrome and get to some real corporate sponsorship dollars, right. NIL. So let's talk about how an NIL program would truly help to supercharge your program.
It's a game changer. It's a game changer because the student athletes, it's hard enough just being a student. Now you're asking them to be athletes. Now you're taking time away from where they can't work. They, can't get to the cafeteria to get a balanced meal. So, half the student athletes, they're cooking their own meals. So, just being able to go get groceries, it's a lot of things that plays a part in our deal. Just being able to kind of have money, just to survive. I know you think as a student athlete, you eat good, you eat the best meals. And, I have one athlete tell me he enjoy going on weekend trips because that's when he eat the better meals.
Yeah, you've been told that by other coaches as well.
Right. So, people think being a student athlete is really easy, but it has its challenges because you're very limited outside of your sport. There's certain things you can do. You're trying to be focused as an athlete, but then, you still get hungry at night. You still have to do things. You can't get a job, or if you choose to get a job, now you kind of have to scale back from the athletic side because you don't want to scale back from the academic piece. So it's a lot of things that you can really look at to kind of create a better environment for our student athletes. And that's one way we can really create a better environment.
So with all those challenges, how have you been so damn successful during your tenure?
I've just been blessed to have some great assistant coaches who really love what they do. We bring student athletes in and they enjoy running, they enjoy participating. I tell people all the time, with basketball and other sports use running as a punishment. Track and field, you have to love running to be a part of it. So I think that's one of the greatest moments when in terms of track and field. We have student athletes who love the sports, are ready to allow the sport to shine through them. And they just want to get to the next level, the regional level, the NCAA national level, just to say, okay, they can compete with the Power 5 schools.
Yeah, you got a great group too, because I got to see them in the homecoming parade. I don't know that they had the rings yet, but we ready for that paws up picture when they get the rings from winning that championship last year. So, and we looking for them to repeat again this year, Coach. We appreciate you taking the time with us on this Sunday, Coach, and good luck for outdoor season. PV Relays coming up end of the month, right?
Yes, PV Relay is coming up March 24th and 25th. We're looking for as many high schools to come out and really see our campus. As far as Prairie View Relays, we love to have that event because one thing is on campus. We want the student athletes from the Houston area or all over just to come on our campus and see how beautiful Prairie View really is. I know they see pictures on social media, but it's nothing like that true experience when you come on campus. I get a lot of comments about, well, Coach Clay, we only see the exit on our way to Austin. Now it's that time for you to go ahead and take that exit and make that right and come on in.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we are not on the same weekend as UT Relays, which we have been the last couple of years. So do you anticipate some universities attending PV Relays this year?
Absolutely. I'm looking for the attendance to be up overall because we get more high schools and universities. When that 1 year was leap year when we kind of fell on the same weekend with Texas Relays. So, this is our year to really make that separation and really to get more universities and more high school on our campus.
Coach, one last thing. Is there a contact or is there like a liaison for those high school groups that are trying to come and, not to, just show up with their groups, but is there a concerted effort to kind of help facilitate where they go and how they can enjoy the weekend?
Well, right now, our meet director is Darryl Woodson.
Okay.
He's controlling the high schools. Also that Friday, we're having a couple of professional teams showing up to run as well. So he's kind of developing and coordinate everything between the professionals, the high schools, and the collegiate teams as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck for this outdoor season. We'll probably see you during preview relays, and let's get them dogs out there and get them healthy.
Absolutely. We're ready.
And congratulations on Coach of the Year, too, Coach.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back with the We Ready shoutouts. All right. Now that was the correct promo.
He said, "We not ready,
yeah.
not ready."
What? Hey, I wouldn't know.
Hey. So I want to start off. I want to give this first one out to Diana Rosenthal. You know, she got her plaque yesterday for being in that 1,000-point club with one more year eligibility. We'll see what happens. She may end up going overseas to play, but because she got game and she ready.
Yeah, she ready.
You ready?
I will say, Al, I was thinking you was gonna give your traditional shot. I thought you were gonna give your spot to the Pantherettes.
He don't want to be repetitive, man.
Hey man, listen, I must say, Pantherettes that came in and they showed out yesterday. Then I will say after they got done performing, the dome was on fire. So Al, I tip my hat, sir. You are
I'm trying to tell you.
the Pantherettes, hey, they were ready.
They're ready.
Hey, I give a shout out real quick. I got a couple of them. Hopefully I can give them in, and I hate that I missed it yesterday, but I had some alpha business I had to take care of here in Dallas, so I'm sure my good brothers understand. I also want to give a re-ready shout out to President NAA Mark Falls. I think we talked about it. He's got a lot on his plate. We are at a crossroads where we got, there's a lot to happen right now, and these are some very critical times that we're in. So as Joe say too, through unity we shall prevail. So we just need to make sure we are singing that we're all on that one sheet of music and trying to get to the same path or to the same outcome. And then last but not least, my shout out to Joe Clay for tapping me and getting me in. I think I was ready. So hopefully y'all will invite me back.
You was ready.
He was ready.
I got, so my shout out is, since it was the theme, 2 coaches on the show. The main theme, if you was paying attention, is they need some money. Our athletes, our student athletes need you, alumni, to distribute your funds into the athletic programs across the board. There are several venues, entities for you to distribute your funds to get them into the hands of athletics. You can send them just for the general athletic fund, or you can specify your funds to a specific team. However you choose to do it, we need you to be ready to cut that check.
Cut the check.
Yeah. Business owners, get at us. We still got to make these NILs happen. So business owners.
That NIL marketplace was a good idea.
Hell yeah, I wrote that down.
Yeah. Hey, big shout out to Day One crew as well. The money that was provided to it was at the beginning of the game, or was it halftime?
Halftime.
$5,000 for a total of $35,000 in a 5-year period, I believe. Just from a tailgate.
Just from a tailgate.
Just having fun.
Party with a purpose.
Party with a purpose. All right, man, we went way long today, but I'm going to take us out of here in the traditional way. PV. You know. That was all right. I see.